Hey guys, welcome back to Karting with Chris. In today's video, we are going to Lone Star Kartpark track. So let's get started. So some of you might be wondering, Chris, why are you going to Lone Star Kartpark track? I know it's a bit of a mouthful to say. To explain why I'm going to Lone Star Kartpark track, first we have to go back a couple of days. So yesterday, Saturday, I was supposed to go to North Texas Karters to do a race there. And I was prepping my kart, I was getting ready, mountain tires, rebuilding the engine, the whole lot. And then I got an email saying that the race had been canceled due to bad weather. Now, this kind of bummed me out. I was just sitting at home, really bored, didn't know what to do for the weekend because I was supposed to go racing. And so I decided to go on the internet, type in karting near me, and Lone Star Kartpark was the closest good track near me. So if you're wondering, Chris, what the hell do I bring to a rental kart track? This is the things you should normally bring. So if you have a helmet, bring a helmet. If you have gloves, bring gloves. If you have a rib protector or some sort of padding for the seat, bring that. If you don't have any of these things, don't worry, they will provide it for you. Okay, so normally I do races on this channel and then post them, but that's not what I'm doing today. I'm not doing a league race, a rental league race. I'm not doing that. Just gonna be a normal rental session. But the reason I'm doing this is so I can give an honest review of what I think of this place in case some of you are wondering, you know, should I go to this place? Is it worth my time? And I'm gonna be giving my 100% honest review. I'm not gonna hold back on anything. They haven't asked me to come here and review it for them, so they don't know I'm doing this. I don't even know if they care, but hopefully this will be educational and entertaining at the same time. And, you know, that's my goal. It's a pretty small clubhouse we got here, but look, there's Texas Motor Speedway over there. Hopefully this is good. It looks like it's in a parking lot, so the surface may not be the best, but we're gonna see. Okay, since I have never been here before, I was told to make an account, so I put in a racer name and then I checked off the terms and conditions, and then I signed my John Hancock, and next thing you know, I was good to go.
To adjust the pedals, pull the handle shown here on the right-hand side of the steering wheel. To shorten, allow the pedals to slide toward you.
I'm all by myself.
Use your feet to push the pedals away. To reduce the chances of spinning out, don't apply your brakes in the corners, apply your brakes on the straightaways before the corners. These CRG carts that we use at Lone Star Kartpark are straight off the ship from Italy, out of CRG's factory. These things are fast. They're unlike any other kart rental experience you've ever had. You can reach speeds of up to 50 miles an hour on our 0.6 mile track. These cars have bumpers around them, but that's...
Okay, I just finished signing in. The lady at the front desk was very helpful, very nice. I was all alone in the tutorial area, so, you know, I didn't really need to watch that video, but it's there for safety reasons. I understand why we have to watch it. I'm currently getting my helmet right now. There is a lot of people here today, so that's good. I want to see how good this track is at passing. So let's go do it. Okay, so I think we're about to start, and I've already noticed something wrong with my kart. If you look at that steering wheel right there, or that tire right there, so this is straight steering, and that tire is already turned. And now the tire is straight here, but that tire is turned. It could be an optical illusion from here, but I don't think this steering is very straight. I'm gonna have to ask him about this.
Looks perfect to me. You got 1 degree of toe in on both sides. Your plastic's up a little bit higher on this one, affecting the angle. If you're out there and you don't like it, just bring it right back and we'll hot swap you, okay?
Thank you. Okay, so at first glance, as I struggle to get my seatbelt on here, but I eventually get it in.
That's what she said.
So at first glance, I'm kinda skeptical about my kart's condition, but I'm just gonna brave it out. You know, if it sucks, it sucks. We're just going to drive it and just see if it's any good. But one thing I like to do before I get out on track, especially in the rental sessions, is just to look over the kart. So obviously I noticed that the tires look a little wonky, but one thing I like to do is turn the steering wheel. Does the steering wheel feel light when I turn it? If it does, then you're not going to have very responsive steering. And then press the brakes and gas. You know, if the brake has a lot of play in it, your brakes might not be very good. So after doing that, I did notice that my steering was very loose and that my brakes had some play in it. So, you know, that's not good, but hopefully it's not as bad as I think. So one thing I like to do for these rental sessions is just see how many people bin it within the first lap. So number 11 here is going kind of slow, that's all right. We see one person's just driving the wrong direction, another person's following him. Don't do that. You're not going to get a good lap time that way. We're going to pass two people through this left-hander right here. Someone challenges us, but you know, doesn't really work on us. These two people take each other out, getting acquainted with the wall. And if you are these people absolutely spinning and wrecking yourselves into the wall within the first lap, my advice to you is I wouldn't do it. It tends to slow down your lap time, and you know, it can be a safety hazard. So that's my Karting with Chris top tip of the day. So like I said earlier in this video, I'm not doing a race of any sort here. This is just a normal rental session, and the point of this video is just to do a little review, just in case any of you guys had any questions, or for entertainment purposes. So through this left-hander, I actually dive on the inside of one person. The other two just go really wide, and so I take full advantage of that. 3 people in one corner, I mean, doesn't get much better than that. But like I said before, I am doing a review of this track, and I'm going to split this review up into 5 categories. So the first category is the website. Is the website any good? Now, some of you guys may be thinking, you know, it's just a website, why does it matter? So before I go to any track, I always look at the website. If the website's really crappy, then it can be a deterrent for some people. So this is my review of the website. Okay, we are on the Lone Star Kartpark website here. And when we scroll down, they say they are the fastest, most intense go-karts in Fort Worth. I don't know if that's true or not. I guess I'm going to have to take their word for it. But here are their hours right here. You can also register online if you want. And there is a little video right here. I think it's about 10 seconds long of 4 people going around one corner. Pretty intense stuff. And then down here they have the league race signups. Now they only have the 2021 league race signups right now, which you can't sign up for because it's 2022. So I don't know when they're going to update this. You know, I don't work the website, so I don't have any information on this. If they do a 2022 league race, chances are it's going to be somewhere in March. But yeah, that's all I know about that. And then we go to kart rentals right here. Got a nice picture of people. That's a lot of people right there. And here's the pricing. It's about 10 minutes and $25 per session. If you do multiple sessions, you can save $5 to $10. $25 for one session. That's not that bad. That's a pretty average price. Most places are going to charge you that much. And then we go down to requirements and advisory. So one of the requirements is you can't have any experience. They enforce that a lot here. If you have experience, they'll kick you out the door. They don't want your kind there. So make sure when you're going, you have absolutely no experience. Second on the requirements is you must have a helmet and neck brace is recommended. Now, when I was there, I had my own helmet, of course, and they did not require me to wear a neck brace. If you use their helmet, then they do require you to wear a neck brace. It's not recommended, it's required. It's a safety thing. If you don't like wearing a neck brace, then bring your own helmet. If you don't care, then use theirs if you want to. And then the head socks. They are mandatory, as it says here, unless you have your own helmet. Again, if you want to use their head socks, they'll let you. It doesn't hurt them. So keep that in mind. And then here's a view of the track here. I don't really look at track maps before I go out because sometimes it can confuse me, trying to figure out where I am on track. So if you want to know what the track looks like, here it is. And then we go up here. It says corporate events. I don't really care about corporate events. I'm not going to judge them on that. League racing, like I said, they haven't announced it yet. Here's everything you should need to know. Maybe I'll do a league race here. I'm not quite sure. And then the last thing they have here is calendar. This is a very nice calendar they have here. It tells you every day that they're closed and every day that they're open. If you do plan on going to this track, make sure you look at what days they're open and what times they're open. They are open at, they're not open at the same time every day. So Wednesday and Thursday, they're open at 4, Friday and Saturday, they're open at 11, and Sunday, they're open at noon. So make sure you look to see when they're open before you go, because I'd hate for you to go there and then be closed. So that was a very lengthy review of the website, and I do apologize if that was too long, but I just wanted to make sure I got the full thing. But for the website, I'll give it a 9.5 out of 10. The reason I'm not giving it the full 10 is because they weren't totally up to date with the league racing. They probably don't know when they're going to have it, but at least say, coming soon or something like that. So that was category number 1. Category number 2 is the karts. How good are the karts? So for the purpose of this review, I did 2 sessions just to see how good the karts are. So if in both sessions the karts are pretty identical, there's really nothing different about them, then I'll score them very highly. If the karts are drastically different, one is way faster than the other, then I will score it a little lower. If both of my karts are good, but then I still notice that someone else on track has a faster kart, then I might deduct points for that as well. So I'm not going to score that category just yet. I'm going to wait for the second session before I do that, but I'm just going to give a small review of this kart right here in this first session. So this kart just would not turn right. I don't know why, it just would not turn right. So going through this right-hander up here, you can watch me locking out the steering wheel, just would not turn right. Almost hitting the tire barrier here, or not a tire barrier, just a normal barrier, but almost hitting the barrier there. So definitely losing lots of time through that corner. I don't know why it wouldn't turn right. Maybe this kart was set up for NASCAR, only turns left, because it would turn left perfectly fine. It just would not turn right. So another thing I didn't quite like about this kart were the brakes. Now, normally in rental karts, the brakes aren't the best, but these brakes were a little subpar for me. I felt like there was a lot of play in them. I really had to mash them down. As I catch up to number 11 here, dive up the inside on this left-hander here. And like I was saying before, this kart loves to turn left, so made easy work of that. But like I was saying earlier, I don't think these brakes are the best in the world. They're certainly not the worst. I'd say they're about average for a rental kart. But yeah, I'd prefer a lot more response in the brakes. I was hoping that as my tires heated up, maybe it was just the tires that weren't gripping with the surface. And it did help a little, but all in all, I didn't really care too much for the brakes. But we're not going to score that category just yet. We're going to wait until the second session before we do that. So I'm going to move on to category number 3, which is the track. How good is the track? So I did go up to the front desk. I asked the lady at the front desk, what are the track limits around here? She said if you keep on the black stuff, then that is the track limits. If you go off the black stuff, that's considered cutting the corner. Now I asked what happens if you do cut the corner. Are there any consequences? As we look up the inside on kart number 1 here, with drastic understeer, we still get the job done. But they said that there are people there watching you, so you don't cut the corners. And I didn't notice anyone watching me, so I think you probably could get away with cutting the corners if you can deal with that morally. But going through this right-hander right here, you can see everyone just cuts that corner. So I think a good rule of thumb is if there's no curbing like this stuff on the left here, then you can cut the corners. If there is curbing, like this left-hander and this right-hander following, then you shouldn't cut the corner. At least that's the rule I was going by, as I do a savage lunge on the inside right here, getting some work done. Another question you guys might have about the track is it very good at passing? As you can tell, I've obviously been able to pass people. I think it's decent for passing. It's not the best track for passing. I've certainly been on worse tracks where you just can't pass, period. So I think this is an average track for passing. I will say, if you haven't already noticed, that most of my passes have been pretty late moves, kind of dive bomb-ish. So do be careful about that. But yeah, there are some corners where you can't pass, but I think overall it's not the worst for passing. So if you're new to rental racing, you want to know what the best way to pass someone is, just let them mess up. So number 7 goes really narrow here, which will compromise his exit. I get a better run on him, and I've got the inside for this left-hander, and I get the job done. So going through this right-hander right here, I noticed that there were some barriers on the left that were out of alignment, so I decided to help the track out, fix those barriers, make sure they're aligned, do my good deed for the day. I did notice that they were a little short on staff, so decided to help them out with some track maintenance. So that's enough dilly-dallying. Let me just finish up this review of the track. So the worst part of this track was how bumpy it was. It was ridiculous how uneven the surface was. So going through some of the corners, you literally could not see because you were being jostled around. Some of the corners were very hard to turn in, especially this left-hander right here, just how bumpy it is. The GoPro I have on has hyper smooth stability, so it probably doesn't show the bumpiness that well, but it's got to be the bumpiest track I have ever been on. So some of you might be thinking, Chris, you're being a little harsh. This is in a parking lot. What did you expect? I expected it to be a little better. This black stuff right here looks like they've paved the track. Some of it looks like paint, but some of it looks like they paved it. So I expected it to be at least a little smooth, but yeah, it was pretty bad. So I don't know if you would find this bumpy. In my opinion, I found it very bumpy. So I'm going to give the track a 2 out of 10 purely because of how bumpy this track is. So I'm going to skip ahead to the end of this session and watch what happens when I cross the finish line here. They're waving checkered, and my cart starts to slow down, and so does everyone else's. And I noticed that as soon as you cross the checkered line on the checkered flag, that they put a rev limiter on the cart. Now, I didn't know they did this on the gas-powered carts, as you can hear me hitting the rev limiter. I didn't know they did this on the gas-powered carts. I knew they did this on the electric carts because it's a safety thing, but usually on the gas carts they don't do that. I'm not going to take off any points for that. I know why they do that. It's a safety precaution, but if you hate this, I'm just telling you, they have it here. So that was the first session. We're going to switch to the second session, and we're going to see if it's better or worse.
Can I swap carts?
Name please.
Chris,
What car do you want to swap to?
20. I'm in 22 right now. I had it last time. It's not that great.
He said it wasn't turning right that good. It's on my
Alright,
list to take the price.
then I can put you in 1. How about that?
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, so we're in the second session now. Again, we're going to play how many people spin out on the first lap. We're warming up our tires here, and we've got a totally different cart now. Going through this left-hander here, this guy in the red helmet obviously did not get the message that we are not going to spin out, but that's okay. I don't think anyone else did so. The people in this class were a little bit better than the last one. But going through this right-hander here, we can see the cart clearly can turn right, so that is good news to us. That means it's already significantly better than the last cart. I don't know if it's the best cart, but it's definitely better than the last one. Savage dive bomb on the inside here. You know I'm feeling comfortable when I go for the instant dive bomb. So they tried to give me the same cart I had in the previous session, and I was not in favor of that. One, because it was an absolutely terrible cart, and two, I want to test the differences in carts as I get the move done on number 20 here. But yeah, I wanted to test the difference in carts to see if they are different at all. Hopefully they're not different, but they probably will be since the last cart I had was pretty bad. But going through this left-hander up here, we can see there's someone on the left. I guess he's just chilling. watching everyone's lines through this corner. I guess that's smart, you could do that, but do keep in mind you only have 10 minutes. So now we're behind number 12 here, and through these corners right here, you can't really pass, you're kind of stuck behind people. So going through this left-hander here, number 23 goes really wide, and number 12 goes really narrow, so I try and go on the inside. I'm not quite enough beside 23 to get the job done on both of them, but I do get past number 12. And then going through this straight right here, this left-hander up here, you can pass, but you have to be beside them to pass them. And then going through here, 23 almost bends it, but they save it at the last minute. And then this left-hander right here is a really good place to pass people because the racing line is you go really wide, but it leaves the inside open for dive bombs. So getting back to the review, we're on category number 2, which is the karts. So this kart is clearly better than the last one. It actually turns right. The kart I had in the last session, I do believe was just a bad egg. It wasn't very good because compared to all these other karts, as this guy is facing the wrong way, compared to all these other karts, this kart was basically the same as them. I think the last one I had was just bad luck on my part. I just got a bad kart, and I think they can fix it. So these karts are all pretty even. As we give number 10 here a little bump, I was a little scared to pass this guy. He was kind of all over the place. But going through this left-hander here, he does a 180, turns around and decides to do the track backwards. I did notice a fair bit of people doing that. They would just turn around and start going backwards. So maybe backwards is faster. I don't know. I guess I should try that out later. So to score the karts, I'll give it an 8 out of 10. They were pretty decent for rental karts. They weren't that bad. I think the one I had at the beginning in the first session was just a bad one. I'm pretty sure if you come here, they probably would have already fixed it by then. And most of these karts are pretty even. The reason I'm not giving it a 10 out of 10 is because the steering and brakes were a little too light for me. So that's why they didn't score perfectly. I also forgot to say that if you are tall like me, I'm about 6'2", then these karts aren't super uncomfortable. So they do fit tall people, as someone decides to go on my inside, number 16 here. Like I said, that corner, since the entry is so wide, it's easy for dive bombs. And we're going to follow 16 here. This guy is a track local. He comes, I don't know if he comes here all the time, but he's obviously been here before because I was talking to him after this session, and he seemed to know every number of each corner. So usually if everyone knows the number of the corner, then they probably come here a lot. So we're going to try it and follow number 16, maybe learn a thing or two. He's clearly already gapped me a little bit, but I'm starting to reel him in here. I think I might have a little smoother hands than him. Going through this left-hander here, I've definitely closed in the gap, so maybe we might learn a thing or two, or maybe we're about even pace. Going through this left-hander right here, I noticed he was going really slow, so I decided to screw it and go on the inside here. You know, I'm not going to mess about. If he's going to slow me down, might as well get in front of him. And he's still behind me now going through this complex right here. Going through this left-hander here, I decided, you know what? Everyone goes backwards around this track. I'm going to try and go backwards around this track. But then I noticed that the workers didn't quite like that, so I changed my mind at the last minute. So my advice to you is, if you decide to randomly go backwards during a race, just commit to it. You know, they can't stop you. Well, I guess they can stop you because they can put the rev limiter on your kart, but you know, do what you want to do. So anyways, back to the review. So we've done categories 1, 2, and 3. We're now in category number 4, which is the atmosphere. How does this track feel? Like, what's the general vibe? So everyone here seemed to have a lot of fun. Even I had a lot of fun, even though I was harshing on how bumpy the track was. I did have a lot of fun here. You know, there was some bumping. That's how rental karts go. And no one was trying to fight each other because of the bumping, which I like to see. You know, it is a little contact. It doesn't hurt anyone. So, you know, everyone was pretty happy. So in the atmosphere section of this review, I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. I really did enjoy my time, and I think everyone else did as well. Now we have number 13 up in front of us here, and he is a little tricky to pass. So if you are doing a league race, you could ideally pass for an entire race, as we see number 10 going off here. But if someone in front of you is blocking like crazy, you can employ people like number 10 to just ram them off for you, and it really is effective. It's quite effective. Number 10 is still in front of me. He's doing a good job. I've already passed number 13. There are 3 people in front of us. One of them decides to just forfeit, which is fine by me. And then we encourage 10 to do it again. He gets the job done. Really good work. I ought to give him a raise. But he did not manage to get number 11, so I'm going to have to do 11 by myself. I see this corner here, and bam, I decide to hit him. You know, it's effective. You know, I give him the hand because he turned in on me, but, you know, ramming is just as effective as clean passing. So before we finish up this session, I would just like to go over category number 5 out of my Karting with Chris 5 category review. So category number 5 is the employees. You know, were they professional? Were they nice? Stuff like that. Because I know sometimes you can go to a place and they can be kind of disrespectful. So here, all the employees were very nice. They were very helpful. They answered every question I had. And when I told them about the bad cart I had in the last session, they were very helpful, and they said they would fix it. I have no idea if they did fix it, but you know, they were very nice about it. So I'm going to give them a 10 out of 10, which is a perfect score if you did not know. Now, if you add up all the categories and do a little bit of math, that comes out to a 79 out of 100, which is about a C+. Now, the reason I didn't score it higher was because of how bumpy this track was. I thought that was probably the main reason why I scored it so low. If you can get over that, then this track is fine for you. But a more important question is, would I recommend this track and would I come back? So if you race professionally, you race all over the country and you race all the time, the bumpiness might be a little too much for you. If you race every once in a while, like once a month, and you just do this for fun, then you could probably get over the bumpiness. It wouldn't be that bad for you. Now, would I come back to this place? I want to see what the league races are like here, so I might come back and do one of those. But would I come back just for a normal rental session? Not by myself, but if I brought some friends, I probably would come back because I still had a lot of fun. So I hope you found this video helpful, and if you didn't, I hope you at least found it entertaining. Now, if you want me to do more videos like this, please do let me know. But that's all I'm going to have for today. If you liked the video, please consider subscribing, and if you have any questions, suggestions, or opinions, please comment below. Thank you guys for watching, and have a good day.